Hold on. Evening peeps, that's a bit better. It helps if I bring the mic in, doesn't it? Evening peeps, welcome back to the channel. We are live tonight for round 3. I know I've put round 2 on the stream, but it's not. It's round 3, so you're in the right place. So we've got round 3 tonight of MRCs GTTCC, or the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. 2 different races for you guys tonight. So it was a double header from Tokyo last week. This week we've got a 15 minutes qualifying which has just got underway, and that is followed by 2 races. First at Trial Mountain, which is obviously where the qualifying is going to be run, and then the second race is reverse grid at Trial Mountain. So we'll see how they get on tonight. Trial Mountain coming back from one of the original, I think it was the first and second, definitely in the first game. But it's back for GT7, so hopefully everyone's had a bit of practice or remembers it from old. And let's get ourselves in. So I've still got a bit of merch, people, but only mediums and small t-shirts. Stickers, plenty of those. They come in, obviously, one size fits all. So hit me up if you want any of those. darksmoker@googlemail.com. DCS DK10 Sim Racing Community. Damn it, could your name get any longer? Evening, how you doing, brother? Hope you're doing okay. Right, let's get into this lobby. Who've we got in the room? I'll read qualifying points out as we go through. So we have got Hirakram in the room. We've got Dylan. We've got Faithless Emo, Fabuki, Fat Pickles, LFC Fan, Manny, Af. We've got Don. We've got Valtteri. We've got Janio. And we've got Mock and Weeks. I think, oh yes, Dylan's already in the room. So only 11 drivers on track tonight. Let's get ourselves in then. And then we'll start talking about scores and all the rest of it. Cool, blimey. My volume's so loud I can't hear myself think. Give me the view I want. Hey, there we go. Mock and Weeks then. First man out on track in the Ferrari. So it's a GR4 class of race. So different drivetrains possible. Mid-rears, front rear, whichever you want. 4-wheel drive, everything available. All have their pros and cons. Grip and tyre wear, things like that. Getting off the line, getting out of corners, getting into corners. Right, oh, that was the wrong button. You'd think I know what I was doing by now, wouldn't you? That's enough of you mocking Weeks. There's Faithless Emo. So let's have a look at points so far in the championship. Into round 3 we are going tonight. Then Dylan leading the way on 77 points. Hirakram second with 61 points. Faithless Emo, who we're looking at right now, is on 52 points. Fabuki is on 49 points. Mocking Weeks are 47 points. P. Gibb on 43 points. Janio is on 42 points. V-Show is on 34 points. We've got P1 Don on 28 points. Fat Pickles on 27 points. LFC Fan on 25 points. Valtteri on 21 points. We've got Manny on 20 points. Total Rose on 14 points. And Potter on 9 points. I don't know if we're going to see Potter tonight. I've not seen Total Rose in the lobby either. I think he actually ducked out of race 2 last week as well. So I'm not sure whether he's back either this week. Fat Pickles in that great big monstrous Bugatti. So let's put the nonsense on and then we can see what's what. So already putting hot laps in then. Mocking Weeks currently sitting on pole position, 158.3. Faithless second on the grid so far, 158.3 as well. Still 10 minutes left of qualifying. Apologies about the cornering of these cars. The lobbies are still glitching pretty bad. It's horrible. Dylan in third place, also in the Ferrari, 158.9 at the minute. Fat Pickles in fourth in that Bugatti, 159.1. Yeah, that's the glitchy, laggy awfulness that we've got to deal with at the minute. Don in fifth. He's got himself a 159.1. LFC fan is sixth. He's got a 159.8. Valtteri 7th, 2 minute point 3. Janio is in 8th. He's got a 201.2. Fabuki is in 9th, a 205.9 for him. Hirakram in 10th, 217.9. And Manny in 11th. Just coming up to the line, actually. 158.8 then. That chucks himself into fourth. We'll go on board with Manny, being as he's just crossed the line. So into turn one, into the sort of foresty section. Let's come outboard a little bit, stop that jerkiness a tiny little bit. So old school drivers of GT may remember this course. It has changed looks a little bit from that first game. Not quite so blocky. But a good course nonetheless. That's a brave cameraman stood right there. Through these S's, all the way through the woods into the little bridge, turning left and into the long tunnel. You will see some overtakes down here. Great big long straight then for the guys to have a go at each other. Nobody behind Manny at the minute to give you a perspective of how fast they would close up. So still in this tunnel then, back down the hill. Very fast left-hand hairpin coming up, running yourself back up the hill. McLaren working its magic through there into the almost an opposite set of S's on the way out of that tunnel. Great big set of S's on the way in and a great big set of S's on the way out. Still that jumping around. It's not pretty. Down this short little straight into the left-hand 90 degree. Oh, it's slightly over 90. Apologies. Oh, gets it a tiny little bit wrong there, I think, Manny. And then final corner, back onto this start-finish straight. And heading back up to the line. He's picked himself up a penalty for that little mistake. So that's this qualifying lap thrown in the bin then for Manny. 158.7. Didn't actually notice where the penalty zone is. Probably on that big long straight at the back of the circuit, just to really screw everybody's race up. Dylan then gets himself on pole now. 157.7 in the Ferrari. He's got a semi-naked lady on the back of that. Hirakram now second in the Lamborghini. 157.8. Oh, he's just gone in front of Dylan, in fact. Yeah, he has just taken that. 157.3. Almost half a second quicker than Dylan's fastest. He is still out on track, though, but he's got himself a penalty. He's got to drop somewhere. Again, let's just have a look on this long straight. I can imagine it is going to be on this long straight. They do like to throw a spanner in the works. No, maybe not. I wasn't paying attention on the previous laps to see where that penalty zone was. A few minutes left of this qualifying session, so we'll have an opportunity to try and retake that pole position for Buki now in third, then 157.9. LFC fan in 4th, just coming in the pits for a new set of tyres, trying to better that time. A little bit less fuel in the car as well. It will go a bit quicker. Pushes previous pole sitter Mockin all the way down to 5th position on the grid at the minute. Fresh set of tyres to play with that now though, as has Faithless Emo. Just joined him leaving the pits. Donnan 7th in the McLaren. 1:58.3 is his fastest so far. Big wide Bugatti sounds awesome as well. 1:58.7 for Fat Pickles, sitting in 7th position. 8th position. Gianio also coming in for a fresh set of boots. Manny then 10th. 1:58.8. Valtteri at the back of the field at the minute. A 2:02 on the board for him. So maybe a track. He's 1.3 seconds off of Manny's fastest. So he's either wasting fuel or he's not too familiar with this circuit maybe. So Dylan dropped his penalty. Where's the next time in line? Coming off the end of the hairpin. Let's just stick with him and he runs down here. See what sort of time he's got. Being chased by Fubuki in the NSX. So they do have to use 2 different cars as well for race 1 and race 2. Oh, apologies. It won't be a fast lap. It's an out lap for him, so that one won't count. Yes, they do have to use 2 different cars for this series. One for race 1, one for race 2. Penalised if you get the cars mixed up. So you will see a different set of cars in race 2. They will have almost the same liveries. Luke Doherty Band, evening brother, how you doing? It has been a long time. A very long time. Thanks for popping in the chat, my friend. Don't forget to leave those likes. We ever going to see you back in the racing behind the wheel, Mr. Doherty? So now Dylan on a hot lap. We'll stop looking at him in a minute when he's crossed this next time in line. Using every bit of the circuit here, Dylan. Coming up to this next time in line now then. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's half a second slower. So this lap might not be the one for Buki. Oof, goes a little bit wide through there. Still 3rd. LFC fan then 4th on the grid. Also in a McLaren. Mockinweets in that Ferrari 5th. Faithless Emo 6th. Don in 7th. Fat Pickles in 8th. Janio 9th. Oh, I know what you lot can't hear. You can't hear the cars, can you? Why has nobody told me? Why has nobody told me that? Manny in 10th. Valtteri in 11th. So coming up to the end of qualifying then, 14 minutes in, runs to the 15-minute mark. Is currently Hirakram on pole position. Dylan still trying to chase that one down. A couple of corners left for him to have a go. He has pulled away from Fubuki, whether that's a sign of a fast lap or Fubuki having a little bit of a slow one just to give himself some space. Let's see what Dylan has put in. It is slower, 2.1 seconds slower, so I'm not sure what happened there. But it's now or never for Dylan. Fubuki as well, he's managed to get across the line. LFC fan already out in front of these two, so he'll get another opportunity, as will Mocking Weeks. Faithless Emo on this long straight. Don then coming up to the line, so he does finish qualifying. He's going to be in 7th position on the grid. Unless anybody can go faster than him in this last lap. And he's still out on track. Janio still out on track, although I think he's over the time limit there, I think, for Janio, possibly. Fat Pickle's been pushed all the way down to 10th then, right at the end. Oh, that could be it for Fat Pickles. He's not even in the room anymore. Good lad, Luke. Good lad. Get yourself the new game. Try and get it on PS5 if you can, my friend, because the cross lag between PS5 and PS4 we think is what's causing the cornery, glitchy nastiness. Looking a bit foggy on track, unless someone's blown a valve stem seal or something, piston ring, blowing a bit of smoke out the back. Oh, it's Fat Pickles. Where did you disappear to? And now all of a sudden reappear. All the way down in 11th until he crosses this timing line at least. Back into 10th then. So Hirikram finishes his final qualifying lap. Is he able to go any quicker, try and cement that lead? Not this time. That's it then for him. Dylan already pulled over. He's out to settle for 2nd for Buki as well. In the middle of that melee, Mocking Weeks pulled over LFC fan then. So that looks like grid order. Hirikram 1st, Dylan 2nd, for Buki 3rd, Mocking Weeks in 4th, LFC fan 5th, Manny in 6th, Faithless Emo 7th, Don in 8th, Fat Pickles in... we've got Janio in 9th, just as he comes out the pits. Fat Pickles in 10th, and Valtteri back in that McLaren right up into Mocking Weeks there, causing all sorts of carnage. Again, give these boys a couple of minutes spare and it's just absolute chaos on these grids. Here we go then, race 1 of the evening, half an hour here at Trial Mountain. Again, one of the older circuits on the game. Lights go on then, we wait for these red lights to drop and then we'll get this one underway. Hirikram then gets himself across. Dylan slots himself right in behind, trying to get as good a run as possible on this first middle straight down towards turn 1. Fast complex of corners, you don't want to be losing too much time. There are drivers off in the background. Let's just change that camera. Oh, PlayStation. PlayStation, no. Right, okay. Right, you want to play those games? It's not giving me the views I want, people. Bam! Shove a keyboard in you. So, Hirikram then. I was trying to find out who split themselves off track at the back. There's Hirikram leading. Dylan 2nd for Buki 3rd. It is for Buki 3rd. Flip to it. Manny in 4th, Don in 5th, Fat Pickles 6th, Janio 7th, Valtteri 8th, Mocking Weeks in 9th, Faithless 10th, LFC fan in 11th. So these boys getting tangled up early on then. LFC fan, Faithless Emo, Mocking Weeks all ended up at the back of the pack and a fair way down as well. Mocking Weeks got a little bit of a tow from Valtteri in front, just clinging on to the back end of the field. There's LFC fan and Faithless Emo battling it out for 10th and 11th. It's 5 seconds, nearly 6 seconds back from the pack. So back up front, Hirikram, Dylan for Buki, almost bumper to bumper. Final call, a little bit of a drift from Dylan. He picks it up though. just 0.7 of a second back. Losing a bit of time down this straight, actually. And Dylan just finding a little bit of pace out of that last corner onto the start-finish straight, and still bumper to bumper through these S's. Yeah, that's the glitching we're talking about. It's disgusting. So we're on board with Dylan then. He's in second place, chasing down from Hirakram in first, Fabuki in third, but he has fallen back now 1.5 seconds. Oh, glitching is absolutely terrible. Doesn't matter which camera angle. Right, are we going to see Dylan have a go here? He's got a good toe on Hirakram. Up and over the hill, back down towards the hairpin. Are we going to see him make a move? Oh, the Lamborghini just edging in front a tiny little bit. Dylan comes back as they head down the hill. Is he going to make a move? No, he backs off, allows Hirakram to keep the lead. Dylan can use less fuel, save his tyres a tiny little bit, while Hirakram has to battle to keep him behind. Still not giving me my views back, PlayStation. Jumping the keyboards again. Bam! Oh, wrong key. So 1.7, nearly 1.8 seconds back then for Fabuki. Starting to come under a bit of threat from Manny and P1 Don chasing him down. Janio just on the back end of this fight as well. And then we've got Fat Pickles leading the next battle between Valtteri and Mocking Weeks. 7th, 8th and 9th battle going there. And then LFC Fan and Faithless Emo still battling it out for 10th and 11th, trying to close back up on this pack. They are pulling a bit of time back. And they still like they're having a damn good battle between themselves. But closing the gap to the 3 drivers in front. Looks like Faithless has got the inside line through this little complex, but LFC Fan tries to carry the speed through. He has to back off though. He's going to run himself off circuit. That releases Faithless Emo into 10th. LFC Fan doesn't want to lose too much time. If he drops the toe of Faithless, could be in a bit of trouble. 1.1 seconds back. Faithless not too far off the back of this field either. Only 2 seconds. Bringing that time down as well, so the 3 drivers in front having a little bit of a battle is benefiting Faithless. FC Fan still right there as well, just 1.2 seconds back. Right, back on board with the front runners. Hirakram goes a little bit wide. Dylan sweeps himself up the inside. Has he made it stick though? Side by side through these S's. Dylan sweeps his way through, gets into first position. Little mistake by Hirakram, just allowed Dylan to take advantage. We had seen on previous. Oh! Hirakram gets a swap on in there, manages to hold on to it, but loses a load of time to Dylan. Puts himself under all sorts of pressure from this big pile of drivers behind then. Fabuki, Manny and Don all closing up. Janio still just 1.1 seconds back as well. Big battle now for second. Still I thought they were closer, but they're not. But Fabuki come under pressure. Don then has managed to squeeze his way through. A little mistake from Fabuki. Released Don into third place. Can he now close the gap up on Hirakram and Dylan in front? Fabuki now under threat from Manny. Again, Janio just tucked on the back end of this fight as well, looking for a way through. 3 McLarens versus this NSX. Another one of Valtteri in 7th. He's also managed to pull a little bit of a gap between himself and Fat Pickles. Fat Pickles still got the Ferrari of Mocking Weeks in his rearview mirror. And Faithless now just 0.9 of a second behind these two. There you go, LFC Fan now dropped the toe of Faithless in front. 3.1 seconds down. Dylan then close a little bit of a gap, 1.4 seconds. He is pretty unstoppable, Dylan. He's taken win after win already this season. I think he's in direct contact with Kobayashi Maru, or whatever his name is, that owns the game. Kawasaki Yamaha. What's his face? He's got cheat codes, I'm sure of it. Hirakram trying to close that gap back up, pulls a little bit of time back on him, but P1 Don closing up on these two as well. Fubuki not out of the slipstream range of Don yet, still dragging Manny and Janio with him. Mid-Riz, quite a popular choice this season. Valtteri then still leading this next little pack. In 7th, Faithless has managed to get himself past Mocking Weeks and Fat Pickles, so whether there's been any other sort of coming together that I've not seen, I don't think so. No damage on any cars. There you go, Faithless Emo now fires himself past Valtteri as well, up into 7th. So having a better mid part of the race for Faithless. Terrible start, ended up at the back of the pack with LFC Fan. He's managed to get 7th, 8.5 seconds behind Janio, 12.8 behind the race leader. We'll see what Faithless can do. He's no slouch behind the wheel, that's for sure. None of these drivers are. Great big battle still kicking off for 8th then, as Mocking Weeks gets himself through to the front of that little battle now. Valtteri 9th, Fat Pickles in 10th, and LFC Fan just almost bypassed him. LFC Fan has now closed the gap back up. He was 3 seconds back. Found some time somewhere then. Now bolted his way back onto Fat Pickles' rear end. It is a big, quick car though, that Bugatti. Whether the McLaren's got what it takes to go for the move. Heads down the hill, looks like he's having a little look, a little bit too far back this lap. Gets a tighter line through there, side by side as they run up the hill. It's going to be interesting next couple of corners, but it is LFC Fan that gets his way through into 10th. Unfortunately, Fat Pickles gets squeezed down to 11th. Dylan then still leading up from 1.3 seconds now. Hirakram 2nd. Now under all sorts of pressure from Don in that green McLaren behind him. Gap just at 0.6. Don will be getting a good toe off of Hirakram. Tricky section, undulating circuit. Tricky blind corners as well. Got to know exactly how fast to go in, where to brake. Different line on the way in there for Don to Hirakram. Doesn't bring him any closer. The last couple of corners. Not letting Dylan escape either. He's just in front of Hirakram. This long fast straight then. How close is Don? Not close enough, I don't think. He'll get a toe down here. He won't be able to close that gap up on Hirakram enough to have a go into the hairpin at the end. Was a little bit of time back, about a 10th, but nowhere near enough to go for a move down there. So he keeps yo-yoing this time between about a second and a second and a half ish. Hirakram either finding a little bit of time or tiny little mistakes from Dylan. Don's just waiting in the background, waiting for a mistake from either of these drivers in front. Janio now got himself up into 4th position. Must have been chaos behind that I've not seen. Fubuki now 5th, Manny 6th. There must have been chaos. Faithless in 7th, Valtteri 8th. LFC Fan 9th. Mocking Weeks and Fat Pickles now in 10th and 11th. Oh, sorry, 9th and 10th. No, Faithless Emo just getting himself back through into 8th. What? 7th. What happened there? My brain went weird. Faithless in 7th. LFC Fan now into 8th, being harassed by Valtteri. Mocking Weeks in 10th. So it's Mocking Weeks that got tangled up. Does seem to have an unlucky streak, Mr. Mocking Weeks. Mr. Gibb, evening, brother. Yeah, well, there you go. Gotta sell the family or something. That's the only way. Race whenever you like. Fat Pickles still not out of the battle yet either. Just clinging on to the back end of this fight. 1.1 seconds behind in 11th. Here we go. Dylan then stretching his lead out again a little bit. 1.3 seconds up front. No stopping. Damn right. Hirokram second, Don third. Still just 3/4 of a second in it between Hirokram and Don. Not anymore. Don closes that gap up a little bit. Takes 2/10 out of Hirokram through that hairpin. Still not letting Dylan get away. Just 1.1 seconds up the road at the minute. Race leader. That 1.1 seconds then, Dylan. Don not made any more headway into Hirokram's time either. Janio in 4th, being harassed by he's managed to get himself past Manny, but he's not managed to drop Manny. Same car for these two drivers. Ibuki in 6th, was in 3rd position. Seem like these McLarens have ganged up on him a little bit. Faithless then 7th. He's got Valtteri just 1.8 seconds behind him. Mocking Weeks back up into 9th. Fat Pickles 10th. Oh, LFC Fan in 11th. So he's coming in the pits, taking on board a bit of fuel and probably a fresh set of... Oh no, he's left the tyres. Stayed on the worn-out softs. Interesting. Right, who was that was driving slow? Was it for Buki? 6th, no. Faithless, no. It was Valtteri. Got something wrong. I saw him driving slowly and pulling off the racing line to allow other drivers to come through. Down in 9th position. Mocking Weeks managed to get his way through then. Fat Pickles in 10th. LFC Fan after coming out the pits 11th, 31 seconds behind. Fat Pickles 53, nearly 54 seconds behind the race leader. Kettering Holiday Inn. Well, there you go. If you want some dog in action, you know where to go. Dylan still not been able to escape yet. Still just a second in it between him and Hirokram. Still a second between Hirokram and Don. Manny then back up into 4th position. Fubuki 5th. Janio 6th now. What's happened to Janio? He's been in the wall somewhere. Picked up a little bit of front end damage. Slowed him down a little bit. Obviously he's out of the fight now. 4th position for the time being. Faithless Emo in 7th. That front right looking a bit poorly on his Lamborghini. Oof. Whee. Couldn't tell if that's glitching or Faithless is driving, but Mocking then holding 8th, still being hounded a little bit by Valtteri. Fat Pickles in that big Bugatti in 10th, fallen off the back a tiny little bit, 1.9 seconds down, nearly 2 seconds on the medium tyre as well. Fat Pickles, hadn't noticed that, to be honest. LFC fan in 11th and taken a second out of Fat Pickles' time. But no fresh tyres taken on board for LFC fan. Again, Dylan finding a couple of tenths here and there, and then losing them somewhere else on circuit. 1.3 second lead, then Don slowly closing up on Hirakram. 17.5 minutes into this first 30-minute race. We are going to have to see drivers stop for fuel. We start with 70% of full tank. Manny 4th and Fubuki 5th. Still plenty of fuel on board for the Honda driver. Janio 6th. Most drivers with less than a quarter of a tank. Faithless comes in now then. He's going to come in and get some fresh tyres, I would expect, and a little bit of fuel. Fat Pickles coming through that tricky final section. Not stopping yet. Plenty of fuel left in that Bugatti as well. So Valtteri in the pits this lap, looking for fuel tyres. LFC fan, will he be able to make any positions up? Being released now. He might make up a position or two here. He might get himself in front of Valtteri and Faithless, but they will have a brand new fresh set of tyres to play with. Oh, there is Faithless Emo just coming out of the pits in front. Fresh set of tyres on board. Just under a quarter of a tank as well to play with, so should be able to keep himself in front of LFC fan. Valtteri comes out afterwards. Fresh set of softs, and again just under half a tank. Dylan with plenty of fuel on, but all three drivers now less than a second between them. Tyre wear starting to cause problems for these drivers then. Don looking the worst for wear on fuel at the minute. Dylan just a tiny fraction over a quarter of a tank. Hirakram in exactly the same position, and Don has got just over an eighth of a tank. So he will have to stop earlier than these two. But they are now clear of the rest of the field by 7.7 seconds. Next man on track, there he is, just in the background, the little orange blur for Buki. Not stopped yet either, quarter of a tank on board for him as well. Manny's come in this lap, Janio's come in this lap. Mockin stays out, still plenty of fuel left in that Ferrari as well. Tyres not looking good though, we'll see when Mockin decides to come in. Faithless stays out as well, Fat Pickle stays out as well. He's on the medium tyre, still got a quarter of a tank on board. Manny gets released. Fresh set of softs. Just over a quarter of a tank. Janio follows him out, exactly the same setup. Faithless just been in the pits, comes back out now. Lap previous, where was well in front Janio, well out of the pits by the time Faithless Emo gets there. LFC fan right behind him though, just 1.8 seconds, and then Valtteri now at the back of the pack, 5.7 seconds. Can he make those fresh softs work? He has got LFC in front of him, who didn't take on board tyres. He's got a lot of fuel on board as well. That won't be helping his race. Valtteri might be able to close that gap up on him. We'll keep an eye on that. Back up front then, Dylan still leading. Hirakram still just half a second behind him. Being able to stretch that gap back out then, Dylan. I think we are going to see Don in this lap. No, maybe not. He's bypassed the pit entrance. Has he remembered that he needs fuel? too late now if he does. Might have to fuel save a tiny little bit, we'll see. Might well have enough to do a whole lap. We'll keep an eye on it. Not losing any time to Hirakram at the minute, so no fuel saving going on right now. Still pulling time over for Buki as well, that time up to 10.4 seconds. So, can anyone stop Dylan? Hirakram trying his hardest, but not been able to close that gap up on him enough to make a move for a few laps now. Don as well just kept himself in third position, closing back up on Hirakram as they come into this hairpin. The mist starting to fall here then in the forest. Visibility may be an issue depending on how bad it gets. Will we see anybody pit yet? Dylan doesn't need to, Hirakram doesn't need to. Don does peel over this lap though, he had no choice. And in the pits he comes, drops himself out of that third place at the minute, although we might see Fubuki come in as well. Looks like he's staying out, he's got plenty of fuel on, so he can do another lap. He should take that position off of Don. Will he last the rest of the race on that fuel though? That's the next question. Mockin then up into 5th. Also not stopped. Don is not even in his pit box yet. Mockin Weeks might get his position back off him. Tyres going on. A big blob of fuel as well. Fat Pickles goes through, takes 5th. Don gets released now then, back on track in 6th position. Fresh set of tyres to play with. .6 seconds back from Fat Pickles, 36 seconds down from the fight he was previously in with Hirakram and Dylan. 5 minutes left then. Dylan and Hirakram now, the battle between. Still just half a second in it. A bit more fuel on board for Hirakram. Tyre wear looking very similar. A little bit more wear on Hirakram's front right, I think. And it is now for Buki in 3rd position. Mockin Weeks into 4th, Fat Pickles 5th, Don 6th, Manny 7th, Faithless in 8th, Janio 9th, right behind Faithless running down the hill, LFC Fan in 10th, Valtteri in 11th. Let's just see what happens here. As Janio got the pace to close up on Faithless. Still 3/4 of a second back as they run down the hill, so not this lap. Runners stay out again. Can they last the whole race? No stops. Air time there for Dylan. Front of that Ferrari comes off the ground. Hirakram hanging on right there with him though, just 0.8 of a second behind him. Still pulling time over 3rd place for Buki. To 13.8 seconds. It was about 10 last time we checked. else have we got going on track then? Any close battles? Fat Pickles being closed down by Don. We'll keep an eye on that one. Faithless and Janio still pretty close together. Faithless kicking up the dirt through there. That might slow him down through this turn. Has that allowed Janio to close up? Not really. Maybe a 10th or two, but Faithless keeps that 8th for the time being. They are coming up to this long, fast straight. How close is Janio this lap? So 0.5 of a second. Not coming down anywhere near quick enough though. Only got the run out of the tunnel, down the hill to the hairpin. Isn't able to go for a move through there then Janio. LFC fan front right absolutely battered now. Didn't take on board tyres when he came in the pits. Took on maybe a little bit too much fuel. We'll see if Valtteri can do anything with that. He's only got just under 2 minutes. Oh, he's picked himself up a penalty as well, Valtteri, so that could be the end of that battle. So it is a race to the line then for these two. We've got a minute and a half left to race. Ooh, are they going to see another lap maybe? They'll be praying they don't. They're about out of fuel, the pair of them. It is still Dylan that leads. Hirakram 3/4 of a second behind them. We've got 1 minute left on the race clock. These two will be the first drivers to cross the line if it does tick over that 30-minute mark. They've been bumper to bumper pretty much since lights out, Dylan and Hirakram. A change of third place driver. We did have Fubuki tailing these guys. He managed to drop himself down the order for a couple of laps. Don managed to get himself up into third position. But we have now got Fubuki back in third. So last couple of corners, they are going to see another lap then. Into the final corner, Dylan still leads by half a second. Coming up to the line then. There they go, last lap on board now then. Nobody else I don't think is going to see. No, Fubuki is going to cross the line. He is going to take the first position here. Where is he? Does it become final lap? Yes it does, yes it does, yes, it just didn't show up on his particular screen because it wasn't on his final lap, so to speak. Dylan then, Mocking Weeks is going to take a fourth position. Don comes home in fifth, right behind, right in front of Fat Pickles, in fact. Fat Pickles with a bit of a penalty, but that's not going to count. Manny is holding 7th position, Faithless in 8th. They managed to close him up, but not enough to get that position. Oh, Manny just out of fuel as he comes up to the line. Faithless might take this position. He does. Manny ran out of fuel around that final corner, loses a teeny tiny position. Tried to take Faithless out, though. Dirty pleader. But Janio takes 9th position. Wasn't able. He was also out of fuel. LFC fan 10th and Valtteri in 11th. And we just wait for the top two to come through. Dylan and Hirakram bumper to bumper again. Last couple of corners to go. Dylan's got to go defensive in every corner. Hirakram looking dangerous right behind Dylan as they run up to these last two turns. Trying to run around the outside, then here Hirakram around the outside of Dylan, who's going to win out on this next corner. It's going to be a run to the line. I think Dylan's got it. He's managed to get the power down a little bit earlier, but Hirokram coming back as they come up to the line. It's going to be absolutely side by side. Oh my God. No, it's not. Dylan does manage to take the win here then. Oof. I thought Hirokram had managed to get himself literally side by side as they were coming up to the line, but Dylan took it. Real good race between those two. Absolutely bumper to bumper for 30 minutes between those two. I'm sure they've got a little bit of a sweat on. Race 1 then. Done and dusted. Great bit of racing. Let's see what race 2 brings. So we do swap tracks. We are heading over to Interlagos for race 2. It's a reverse grid as well. Same setup, tyres and fuel wise, etc. Lobby settings are all the same. Just track and car choice has to change now. So Dylan stretching his lead out even further in the championship. Hirokram trying to stick with him though. Doesn't want to let him get too far away in the league battle. Don and Fat Pickles having a good battle there by the look of it as well. So I can imagine race 2 is probably going to start at, it's either going to be 55, 21:55 or 10 o'clock, 2200. We will see what lobby hosts decide. How are we all doing anyway tonight, people? Hope you're all right. Go. Yeah, does look like Don and Fat Pickles had a good race. Tiny bit of a nightmare at the beginning for, who was it, LFC fan and Faithless Emo getting tangled up, ending up at the back of the pack early on, a few seconds down, but both drivers managing to claw their way back a few positions at least. Faithless take him on the line, in fact. Here we are then, Interlagos. I don't like this circuit. Give me the right cameras this time. Let's see if you give me the right cameras in the race, shall we? Alright, let's go for a lap on board with LFC fan if he's going to do a full one. I should, but I don't know any of the names of these turns, so they're just getting called the lefts and the rights and number 1 and number 2 and stuff. Who knows? Into turn 1 then, tricky down the hill, running through the right-hander through this great big sweeping left, tricky little section that is. You're coming in fast from that start-finish straight, easy to get it very wrong through there. Another little bit of a straight here then as you run down towards turn 4. Getting opportunities to overtake down here, but you've got to be very careful. You don't want to get pushed off to the right hand side of the track there. Pick up yourself a great big penalty. Through turn 5, running up towards turn 6 and 7, backing off the throttle a little bit on the way in, and back on the power, and then into the section I don't like. It just wants to send your car completely the wrong direction every single corner through this next little complex. weeks just finding out exactly what I'm talking about. Gets the Ferrari. Oh, I don't know what he was driving actually. Might have still been in the Ferrari, the naughty boy. LFC fan then coming round to just about where we joined him. Coming onto this final corner then, back onto this start-finish straight. Although it is a sweeping left-hander, which can just keep the hammer down, so I'm calling it a straight. Some lap times he could have put in. A 1:59.4 then for LFC fan. Again, no times to worry about in this little practice session. It is a reverse grid from race 1. Faithless in the Toyota for race 2. Valtteri in the Honda. We saw Fubuki in that in race 1. Hirakram now in the Ferrari. Was in the Lamborghini last race, mocking weeks. Okay, he's in the McLaren. Was in the Ferrari in the last race. Don in the Ferrari, was in the McLaren. Fat Pickles in a McLaren, was in the Bugatti. Janio was in a McLaren, now in a Ferrari. Mid-rear is very popular this season. Fubuki, what are you in? Can I see anything on that screen there that tells me what car you're in? No. Same for you. You could all be in McLarens. No, you can't. They're all different. There's got to be one Ferrari, one McLaren, and probably one NSX. Oof. Set that Ferrari on fire, did Hirakram through there. Bit of sideways action. Just gathering his thoughts for a minute while he contemplates life. L2 then in an NSX. Faithless in that Toyota, the GT86. Well, that's new Supra, is it? In the McLaren, Don in the Ferrari. Did we see everyone? No, we've still got a couple of drivers still sat in the pits, haven't we? Another McLaren for Fat Pickles. Genio out then in the Ferrari. Just still wait on Fubuki and Manny. Nobody seeing a McLaren badge or anything on the steering wheel of that car? No. Or that one? No. Okay. So Interlagos again, another half an hour race coming up. I assume we're going to be starting at 10 o'clock. I've not seen it pop up in the chat, but it's looking more and more likely as we head towards 10 o'clock. That's not the line, Dylan. Again, another track. I don't know where the penalty zone is. I don't think I even saw it on the last race. Come on now, PlayStation, fix these lobbies. According to the drivers, it's not as bad from their point of view when they're actually racing. From my point of view, pretty much everyone has a bit of a jump on. Oh, here we go. So this is where the penalty line is for Dylan. Coming onto this last bit of straight, onto the start and finish straight. Get up to a little bit of speed. Bing. Kills all that speed. Oh, look how slow he's had to go through there. That 3-second penalty. Fat Pickles tries to take him out a little bit as well through there. Why not? Here we go then, race 2, excuse me. Just about to get underway. Valtteri on pole then for this one. LFC fan in second. Lights are on now then. And we're underway with race 2. Gets a good start, does Valtteri. Is it enough to hold on to P1 into turn 1? LFC fan having a little look up the inside. Valtteri has left the door wide open, gets himself through. Janio also having a look for that position as well. He's had to run himself off circuit though. Then had to run himself wide on the way back in. That's allowed Faithless Emo up the inside as they head down towards turn 4. He's already got himself through. Manny also having a little think about a look into turn 4. Pickles in 6. Oh, Don goes wide. Fabuki goes through. Dylan looking for a way through as well. He's going to back off as they head into turn 5. It's not the view. Huracram in 10th then. Mocking Weeks in 11th. Running a bit wide through that corner, almost runs himself off track. Oof! Janio as well gets a swap on through there, allows Valtteri to come back at him. Still side by side through this next corner. Valtteri and Manny all trying to make their way through. So a big pile of drivers as they come to the end of lap 1. Away a little bit now, Janio. 0.8 of a second between himself and Valtteri. You can see Manny just behind Valtteri, thinking about making a move. Goes up the inside. Has he got the power to hold on to that line? Does a little nudge, I think, through there. Pushes Valtteri wide. Valtteri comes across track and I think catches Dylan on the way through. Now it's Janio on the hunt for Faithless Emo in second. LFC fan in first. Through turn 4 they go. Are you going to give me my cameras back, PlayStation? Yes, you are, you good game. You were rubbish 20 minutes ago, but you're better now. LFC fan then leads. He's got a full second over Faithless. Can Faithless bring that time down? Janio just 1.1 seconds behind. Manny another 1.1 seconds behind as well. Huracram then. Some kind of magic to work his way through the field. Dylan as well followed him through in 5th and 6th then. Huracram and Dylan. Kabuki in 7th. Valtteri 8th. Valtteri's got a little penalty he's got to lose as well. Mocking Weeks trying to drive around the outside of Don. Gets that job done. Valtteri coming up to that penalty section then. But Mocking Weeks goes through into 9th. Don in 10th. And Fat Pickles in 11th. Back on with the race leaders then. LFC fan still just under a second. Faithless trying to bring that time down. Bring it down, keeps it at 0.9 through there. Janio as well, not able to make any kind of dent in Faithless's time. Manny also got a semi-naked lady on the back of his car. 4th position at the minute, 1.7 seconds behind Janio. Got Huracram and Dylan who were battling it out in race 1, now battling it out in race 2, but mid-pack. There he is in the mirror, Dylan. Lurking in the rear view camera, look. Looking for any way through that front end of that McLaren. Oh. So that inboard camera should say things are closer than they appear. Because, bam, he's right there. get a run on Hirakram down this long straight. Ferrari versus McLaren. He's closing up is Dylan. Running around the outside here. Who's got the pace? Dylan's carrying a little bit more speed, but they are coming to the end of this straight. Who's going to win out? Can Dylan run it around the outside here? Is Hirakram going to give him space? Looking up the other side. Not yet. Dylan has to hold on to 6th for now. Back to the front of this race then. LFC fans still leading, but Faithless Emo has dragged a big chunk of time out of that lead, down to 0.4 of a second. Janio as well, taken a couple of tenths out of Faithless Emo, so it brings the top 3 down to 1.3 seconds. Manny not managed to pull any time back yet, 1.6 seconds behind in 4th. And then Hirakram and Dylan slowly but surely closing that gap up on him. Buki trying to hang on to those two as well. Rocky Weeks up into 8th then. Just 2.3 seconds down. Don right behind him, 0.7 of a second. Fat Pickles in 10th. Valtteri long way back, 7 seconds down at the minute in 11th. Here come the top 3 then onto this long straight. Everybody within the tow range of each other in those top 3. Ferrari carrying good speed though. Nobody able to close up on anybody else. Dylan and Hirakram side by side through turn 1 again. Both drivers being bottlenecked a little bit by Manny here. Hirakram's got the inside line. Was he able to hold it over Manny? Yes, he is. Oh no, he's run wide. So that allows Manny to come back through. That allows Dylan to come back through as well. He slots himself up the inside. Oh, not quite. I thought he'd just managed to get himself up the inside of Manny on the entrance into turn 5, but no. Runs wide again there, does Hirakram. He's pushing now, trying to make that gap up and get past Manny so he can chase back down Dylan. Doesn't want to let Dylan take too many points. Back up to the front of this race. Oh, contact between Janio and Faithless. Faithless just pulling over, allowing Janio to get back on the track. That's what we expect in GTTCC. It's not a nice thing to do, but it just means it tries to promote clean and fair racing. So unfortunately, Janio and Faithless Emo dropped down to 9th and 10th from that little indiscrepancy, shall we say. Valtteri, unfortunately, not close enough to take advantage of that either. 7.5 seconds down still. And that releases LFC Fan having a race of his own at the minute. 3.6 seconds on the road. Now, Dylan managing to get in front of Hirakram. All over the back of him though, the Ferrari looking quick. Into turn 1, Dylan now having to go defensive. Can they bring this time down between themselves and LFC Fan in front whilst battling it out for the position? Well, they've already taken 2 tenths out of his time, so that answers that question for the time being. There's a battle going off behind as well. Manny and Fubuki battling it out for 4th. Weeks 6th, Don 7th, Fat Pickles in 8th, Janio and Faithless trying to make something of this race after getting tangled up with each other. In this very corner, I think, wasn't it? Oh no. This corner running down the hill, wasn't it? Valtteri probably not liking Interlagos as well. I don't blame you, mate. It's an horrible course. LFC fan then. Tyres starting to look very, very worn out on that Ferrari up front. The gap dropping as well, 2.5 seconds between first and second. Dylan managed to find a little bit of time coming out of that final turn, keeps himself safe from any kind of attack from Hirakram, but in the background we see Fubuki finally make his way past Manny into fourth, then Manny fifth. Mockenweek's 6 still being harassed by Don at the minute. Fat Pickles still bolted onto the back end of this fight. Then we have got that Janio Faithless Emo just 1.3 seconds behind. Tyres looking pretty bad on that Toyota as well. Mediums on for Valtteri. I hadn't noticed. That's could be why he's running a little bit slower than everyone else. But LFC fan, any kind of lead he had, is getting smashed into bits corner by corner, down to 1.4 seconds. Dylan's soft looking pretty good, better than Hirakram's. Oh, Hirakram's picked himself up a penalty as well. That's going to drop him right out of the fight with Dylan. Should allow Manny and Fubuki to get that position. Oh no, there's contact between these two. They do rejoin the circuit, but both got a bit of a wobble on. Hirakram losing his penalty then, getting back up to speed. Fubuki does get past Manny. I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't know if he's carrying enough speed down here. He's throwing himself in the pits anyways, get rid of those tyres. Obviously not helping him. Hirakram then drops into fourth position after dropping that penalty. Fubuki third, LFC fan now second. Dylan. LFC fan's made a mistake. His tyres are absolutely blown out that front right. He's made a mistake, picked himself up half a second penalty. And Dylan has managed to swoop through and take a race lead here in race 2 as well. Unstoppable Dylan. Fubuki third. Again, Hirakram just behind him. His tyre's not looking too good either. So Dylan will start pulling away from LFC fan. LFC fan will lose that penalty as well, which will push him even further back into the clutches of Fubuki. His tyres not looking too bad either. Hirakram's, he is starting to feel the effect of those. Don then into fifth, got himself past Mockenweeks. Again, tyre wear coming into play now. Janio, his front right absolutely battered, up into seventh, got himself past Fat Pickles. Faithless Emo has not managed to. He's picked himself up a penalty as well. Oof, oh no, it's not. It's Janio that goes wide through there. I thought it was Faithless Emo. Sorry, Fat Pickles. But it wasn't. It was Janio went wide through that final corner with the beaten up tyres. Faithless Emo comes in this lap though. Janio stays out even with those worn out softs on. Looking for a little bit more grip in this second half of the race. Valtteri into 10th then. Manny, why did you may as well, how much penalty did you get there for you to literally be parked up on the start finish line grid? Back up to speed, all the way down in 11th though. Were you a naughty boy and crossed the pit line or something? If I've only just come out of the pits, fresh set of tyres on. Faithless Emo just getting released. Dylan then. 3.9 second lead. Fubuki now into second. LFC fan really struggling here on these softs. Hirakram right behind him as well. He's got himself another second penalty to lose. Race starting to fall apart a little bit for Hirakram. Ferrari's not doing so well on tyre wear here at Interlagos. slowing down. Oh, terrible. Don will be carrying all the speed up here. You might see Hirakram come in the pits anyway. Yes, he is. He peels off to the left-hand side of the circuit. Don goes straight on and takes... Oh, got a couple of drivers in. Don comes into second then. His Ferrari not looking too bad on tyres compared to the other drivers. But that now releases Dylan up front, 9.2 seconds, halfway into race 2 here tonight. Don second, Fat Pickles in third, not stopped yet either. Valtteri in fourth, also not stopped. On the medium tyre as well, Valtteri. Drivers have just been released out of the pit boxes now then. Fubuki released into 5th position. LFC fan comes out right behind him with Hirakram right behind him, 6th and 7th. Hirakram has a look at the inside of LFC fan. Oh, not sure if there was contact, but LFC fan holds on to it. If there was, it was only a tiny little bit of contact. Hirakram goes from 4th. Losing penalties down to 7th position. Manny in 8th, not too far behind him. Mocking Weeks as well, been in the pits, fresh set of tyres to play with for him now. Faithless Emo done the same thing, fresh set of boots on. Janio, fresh set of boots now as well. Race leader comes in the pits. Don follows him in, so where is... Oh, Fat Pickles also comes in. Are we going to see Valtteri? Will he manage to take the lead of the race? Stays out, he doesn't need fuel or tyres. Those mediums not looking too bad still. Valtteri takes the lead of the race. Can he get... Oof. He did for a second, but... will he retake it as Dylan gets released? He's carrying a bit more speed through here, I think. No, Dylan holds on to it, so he did get first. I'll give you that, Valtteri, I saw it. Don't let anyone tell you any different. You led this race, mate. Fortunately, not for very long. Dylan then manages to squeeze out the pits just in front of him. Takes on board just under half a tank. Fresh set of racing softs to play with. Now 1.5 seconds ahead of Valtteri. Valtteri got another 1.5 ahead of Fubuki. LFC fan then 4th, then another 3.9 seconds down, being harassed by Hirakram in 5th. He's made up a couple of positions. Don 6th, Manny 7th, Mocking Weeks in 8th, Faithless Emo 9th, Fat Pickles in 10th, Janio 11th. Janio's now picked himself up a half a second penalty as well. Now, what can Dylan do? Can he just keep stretching this lead out here? He's already got 3.5 over Fubuki, who's got past Valtteri. Everybody got fresh tyres on except Valtteri, I think now. Hirakram having a look at LFC fan through turn 1. Can LFC fan hold on to it? Oh, runs Hirakram wide. Hirakram comes back on circuit on the inside line as well. They're still battling out, the two Ferraris. There's a McLaren. Oh no, it's not. It's another Ferrari of P1. Dom trying to squeeze his way through here as well. 3 wide, the Italian sandwich as they come into turn 4. LFC fan holds on to the lead of that little fight. But it does now bring this midfield pack right together. LFC fan, Hirakram, Dom, Mocking Weeks, Faithless Emo closing up. Manny as well with Fat Pickles in tow. Janio just 5 seconds back, still got that penalty to lose. Dylan is finding a little bit more time. 3.9 seconds over Fubuki. Valtteri is going to start getting swamped by these drivers behind his semi-worn mediums. Not going to be no match for these drivers, all out on fresh softs. Hirakram into 4th position, then LFC Fan 5th, Don 6th, Mocking Weeks 7th, Faithless 8th. Again, just got Manny and Fat Pickles trying to grab that little bit of time to close up on this fight. Won't take them long into a couple of these trickier, tighter corners. They should be able to close that gap back up. So these boys will be battling it out pretty damn hard. LFC Fan having a look at Valtteri. Keeps himself in touch with... Gets a wobble on through there as well, does LFC Fan. Flash of the lights to Hirakram. I'm here, mate. You've not got away yet, he says. Now, are we going to see Mocking Weeks and Don having a look at Valtteri down this long straight? As Don has a little pull out, gets himself up the inside of Valtteri. Both run a little bit slow through there. Unfortunately, Valtteri running wide has left the door open. Mocking Weeks gets through as well. Now Mocking Weeks are looking to have a look at Don into turn 5, but Don holds on to it. Hirakram 3rd, then LFC Fan 4th. Great big gap to Fubuki in front, 5.3 seconds. We can't even see him at the minute. There he is. So a little bit of work for Hirakram to do to try and take any more podium positions. LFC Fan flashing his light still. Let's change that camera angle up, and Dylan, race leader, now 4.3 seconds up the road from Fubuki. 8 minutes remaining. Hirakram 3rd, LFC Fan 4th, just a second back. Don 1.2 seconds back, being chased by Mocking Weeks and Faithless Emo. Valtteri, yeah, he's getting swamped on those tyres. Manny's got through. Valtteri is he going to hold on to this position? No, Fat Pickles just gets himself in front before the braking zone. To 90 goes Valtteri 10th, Janio 11th, dropped that penalty at long last. Now 6.9 seconds behind Valtteri. Can he close that gap up before the end of the race? Race leader Dylan. Having a nice quiet race at the minute. Tyres looking good, fuel looking good. Fubuki 4.2 seconds behind. Hirakram closing that gap up a little bit, 4.8. LFC Fan starting to fall off the back of that fight just a tiny bit as well. The tyres looking a lot worse on LFC's Ferrari than they are on Hirakram's. Don and Mocking Weeks both closing up on LFC Fan as well. He might not be hold on to this 4th here. He's got Faithless Emo to... Oh, Faithless gets a swap on. Faithless Emo was in contention to close back up on... who were we talking about? LFC Fan. Not that far back at all. Manny's still only 1.7 seconds back. Fat Pickle's still right there with him. Valtteri, unfortunately, those tyres costing him. Janio is closing that gap up, 3.2 seconds. Chewy RC, evening brother. Why so laggy? Because PlayStation, mate. We believe it's the cross-play between PS4 and PS5. Because when people say they're in lobbies with all PS5 drivers, it's a lot cleaner. So we think it's something to do with the cross-play. Goddamn stupid game. 4.4 seconds now for Dylan. 4.5 for Fubuki, still holding on to this second. Keeps a good enough gap between himself and Hirakram for the time being. 4.6 seconds himself. We have got 5.5 minutes remaining. Fubuki's just got to keep it in front for that amount of time. Hirakram now pulled a great big gap away from LFC Fan. He's also picked himself up a half a second penalty. Don is right there with him. Mocking Week's not too far back either. Faithless Emo is still bolted onto the back end of that fight. There is Manny. Loses a little bit of time through there, as does Fat Pickles Bro. Janio now past Valtteri. Just catch that little battle. Valtteri, unfortunately, with those medium tyres, tried to run the no-stop. It's not worked out. I think that was tried in race 1 as well. Nobody can catch this man. Fubuki tried in race 1. Sorry, not Fubuki, Hirakram. Bumper to bumper with Dylan for 30 minutes, but absolutely nothing he could do. Dylan just knows exactly what to do with this car to keep it in front, unfortunately. LFC fan has lost a position then. Dom gets through. Tyres costing him again, I think, for LFC fan. Mocking Week's not that far back either now, just half a second. And closing. Faithless Emo fallen off this fight. His tyres not looking too good. And he is slowly but surely running out of fuel. Might have to be a little bit careful here with just 4 minutes remaining. Manny 2 seconds behind him, so we'll keep an eye on that gap as well. It does look like it's coming down. Fat Pickles still just 2.2 seconds behind. Janio 5 seconds behind Fat Pickles. Whether he's able to make any more time up, I don't know. Valtteri now with half a second penalty, he's got to drop. You'd have him, would you, Chewy? I don't think you would, mate. I really don't think you would. It's full on pure consistency. It's too good. So 27 minutes gone, 3 minutes remaining. Dylan leads by 5.5 seconds from Fubuki. Fubuki still got 4.3 seconds over Hirakram. Don 2.9 seconds behind. LFC fan under all sorts of pressure now from Mocking Weeks. Lights being flashed all over the place for LFC fan. Right, he's got himself a second penalty as well. That's dented him completely. Mocking Weeks not quite able to go for a move into turn 4. Turn 5, 6 and 7 then. Unfortunately, LFC fan's going to have to drop this second penalty. Mocking Weeks should be able to make a nice, easy pass. Ooh, Faithless Emo. Although he's 2 seconds back, the penalty system not quite working out. So, although he's got a 1 second penalty on the screen there, it will end up being about 2 seconds by the time he's lost the speed and got himself back up to speed. Yeah, it's not quite right. Faithless Emo is falling off the back of this fight though, 2.4 seconds. So coming up to this penalty zone then, we should see LFC fan hopefully peel off the racing line. There you go. Almost stops on track. Mocking Weeks carries on through then into 5th. There you go. Although he was in front of Mocking Weeks, he loses about 2 seconds to him by the time he gets up to pace. And that does bring Faithless Emo into attack mode then as we hit this last lap pretty much. Let's just see where Dylan is out on circuit. 1 minute remaining. He will probably see another lap here, Dylan. You will have to get a PS5 and prove it, Chewy. Stop messing about, get your rig back out, stop playing with those toy cars and start playing with toy cars digitally again. Dylan then 6.4 seconds as we come around these tricky corners on the inner part of this circuit. What have we got left on the clock? Just 15 seconds. He will not hit the line, I don't think, with 10 seconds remaining. This is going to be it then. Dylan's going to take 2 wins here tonight. First win at Trial Mountain, and then the second win here at Interlagos. Starting from the back of the pack as well. There it is. Second win of the evening then for Dylan. Tabuki has managed to hold on to second as well. Plenty of time between himself and Hirakram by the time they come to the line. 3.8 seconds. Hirakram takes third then. Don takes fourth. Rocking Weeks coming home in 5th position. Almost. Lev Fan takes 6th. Fat Pickles 7th. Manny takes 8th. Janio takes 9th. Faithless. What happened to Faithless? He's out of fuel. Faithless is out of fuel. So he's rolling into the pits. I don't know whether that allows Valtteri to come through and take that position, does it? It might do if he gets up to the line before you. Oh no, Faithless does take 10th then, and we just wait for Valtteri to come across the line for 11th. And there it is, race 2 of the evening done and dusted. Again, more great racing. Real good fight from the guys at the back to make their way through cleanly as far as I could see. There it is. You'll get one eventually. Well, if you started selling them toy cars, you could buy a PlayStation to play with toy cars. Couldn't you? So, Unstoppable Dylan strikes again. That's going to put him a great big chunk ahead in the tables now. He's already got a fair old lead. Where did I put them? So he's already got 16-point lead over Hirakram. And those 2 results will only help better that next week. I'm not working it out this week. I'll let you all know next week. Yeah, but it's raining and cold, Chewy, and stuff like that. I mean, going places and seeing people. But that's it from me tonight. MRC's GTTCC is actually round 3, even though I put round 2. Not too sure why I did that, but I did. I'll change it. I am back on Wednesday night for the Team Oliver Racing GR3 League. That is at 8:30. We've got back with the 2 lobbies. We've got the pros with me, and we've got the pro-ams with D-Dot over there on Facebook. And then back again Friday night, same time, same place, 9 o'clock for round 4 of the GTTCC. Biggest and best GR4 league on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. And I know a lot of people agree. Doing the national champs this summer. Well, go Chewy, go. If you want a dark smoker sticker to smash on the side of your car, make it go faster, even gives your car like 10 brake horsepower more. Does. That's aero and stuff. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm done and dusted. I hope you've liked what you've watched. If you have, give it a like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here. And yes, karting. Don't worry, we're on it, Chewy.